Welcome to BrightMindz Academy's Aware Expert Talks. Today, we have a special guest all the way from Singapore with us, Mr. Dickson Tang. Mr. Dickson Tang, welcome to BrightMindz Expert Talk series. So, Mr. Dickson Tang is a global educator for future of work. Specifically, he is a keynote speaker and author. His area of interest and area of study is creativity, and he helps people and organization to get creative towards the future of work and business. His best-selling book, Leadership for Future of Work, 9 Ways to Build Career Edge Over Robots with Human Creativity, was featured in media such as Forbes, Irish Tech News, and Money FM. He holds an MBA from ESSEC Graduate School of Management in France and a Bachelor of Social Science from the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Let me welcome you again once again to BrightMindz Talk, Mr. Dickson Tang. Welcome.
Hey, hi, thank you. Great to be here. Thank you.
So your area of expertise is creativity. And we know that according to the World Economic Forum, they have told creativity as one of the top 3 skills which is required at this point of time. So in my perception, what creativity is that having a novel idea and transforming them into reality, or bringing it in the action mode, or seeing things in a different way that nobody have seen, and or bringing solutions that adds value to the society. So what according to you is creativity, Mr. Tang?
Oh, okay. That's a great question. First of all, I want to say a big thank you. Great to be here. And as you probably know, I'm the author of this book, Leadership for Future of Work: 9 Ways to Build Career Edge Over Robots with Human Creativity. Now, before I answer your question, right, maybe I would like to share with your audience, right, why do I want to publish this book, right? Why this book? Because the reason is exactly like what you mentioned, is like the future of work, future of business requires creativity. Creativity is one of the top skills for the future, but unfortunately, the school systems, the traditional school system, especially the traditional school system in Asia, they are not preparing students to be creative, right? So that's a gap. Right? Future needs creativity. Traditional school is not supplying that, right? So that's why I want to do something to bridge this gap. Okay. Now to answer your question, right? How do you define creativity, right? Different people define creativity differently, but I use one of the yardstick, one of the measurement is what I call the ideas fluency, right? Ideas fluency. That means how fluent you are with generating idea, evaluating idea. Right? The same way you are being fluent with a foreign language, right? So I call it the ideas fluency. So I always encourage students as well as business professionals to be more creative, to be more open-minded to new ideas. Right? So that's my core message.
Okay. Thank you, Dickson. So let me also tell you that in India, the education policy is getting reformed, and I believe your book on creativity can really help the Indian students also to enhance their skills and all. So let me ask you one more thing. Like, you have told creativity, what creativity is, influence of ideas. So is actually creativity something which we are born with, or are we able to enhance our creativity over our course of life?
Well, my personal belief is like all of us, right? All of us, we are kind of like born. We are all born creative, right? We are all born creative. That's why my assumption, right? Why? Because if you look at those like a small kids, like 1 year old, 6 month old kid, right? So they can play, right? They can take whatever item, whatever toys they can imagine, right? They can do a lot of things, right, with whatever items they can grab to their hands, right? So, but as we grow older, as we go into the school system, we kind of like lose our creativity, right? So I subscribe to this belief, right, that the more you study, right, the more kind of like you lose your creativity, right? So in this context, right? In this context, right? So what do you need to do, right, as a student, or what do you need to do as a parent, or what do you need to do as a business professional, is to really like put in some effort, right, to learn how to be creative, or how to spark off your creativity again, right? So to answer your question, right, I believe that yeah, we are all born with creativity, but somehow we lost it, right? So that's why now is the time, right, for us to pick up creativity again.
Okay. So we are born with creativity, and over the course of life, somehow we lose creativity. And right now, we are trying to gain back these creative skills that we have. So all the students, everyone has been told that they have to be creative. They to pursue in the greater domain of their life, they have to be creative. So how creativity can help one to transform themselves?
Okay, sure. That's a great question. And for students, I would suggest they probably need to work on three things, right? So three things. In my book, right, I call it the 3I model, right? 3I model. So number one, as a student, what you need to do is you need to develop what I call the individual mindset, right? The first I is what I call the individual mindset. That means you have to be creative in your individual mindset. Right? A lot of time, whenever a student got a problem or maybe got a homework that is a little bit more difficult to do, right? So immediately our response is, oh, cannot be done, can't be done, I'm not good at that, or I'm weak at that. So a lot of time, right, we are not that creative in terms of accepting challenges. Right? So I would suggest the first thing you need to work on is to build your individual mindset to be more creative, right? Stop saying cannot, I can't do it. Instead, you should open up and say, oh, why not? Right? Why not accept it as a challenge? Right? So that's the first thing your students need to be aware of. Right? This is the first I, individual mindset. The second I is what I call infrastructure. Right? Infrastructure means the way you do things, right? The way you do things. So as a student, maybe in the past, right, you are programmed to do certain tasks, right? From step 1 to step 10, right? But now things are changing, right? The school system is changing, the technology space is changing, and the way we learn is also changing, right? Because of this current COVID situation. Right? So you need to look at the way you do things, right? Is it still relevant, right? So that's why you need to look at your infrastructure, right? Your process, your ways of doing things. Right? So that's the second I. Right? I call it the infrastructure. The third I call it is ideas. Ideas. As a student, you need to be open-minded to new ideas, and you need to know how to generate new ideas and new solutions. And of course, there are many techniques, there are many tools, right, that can help you generate ideas. But the essence is you need to be very comfortable with some new ideas. Right? So to recap, right, the 3I, number one is individual mindset. You have to build a creative individual mindset. Number two, infrastructure, right? Meaning creative infrastructure. You need to be creative in the way you do things. Number three, ideas, right? You need to know how to generate and evaluate creative ideas. Right? So this is the three things that I would suggest your audience, right, to work on.
Oh, that's a great thing, Dixon. That's a great thing. So the 3 I's. So let me also repeat that 3 I's. The first one is individual mindset, and the second one is infrastructure, and the third one is ideas.
Yes.
So that connects me to another thing. Like normally, many of the students pursue their higher education based on their interests or from their influence of the parents or the friends or the trend in the society. But what I feel is that there is more than interest. There is something called aptitude. There is something called our personality. So when we have an interconnection of this aptitude, skill, and personality, then only we'll become competent in our career. So uh, could you please take this point and connect it with creativity? From creative point of view, how do you view this?
Okay, great Great question. I can definitely understand a lot of times when you are about to choose your major of studies in university or in the higher education, right? Sometimes you don't know what you want to do, right? So you ask people for other opinions, or you just take some advice, right, from your parents, okay? And some of you may be just chasing for the hot topic. Oh, maybe this year engineering is hot, right? Then everybody want to study engineering. Or next year architecture is good, and everybody. So my suggestion to your audience is two things. Okay, number one is stop chasing the popular topics, right? Or what is the so-called highest earning topics, because the world is changing so fast, right? The hot subject right now, or the best earning subject right now, right, will be changed, right, in a matter of 1 year or 2 years, right? So stop chasing for that. And my second suggestion to your audience is, okay, find your passion, right? Find your passion. Yeah, it sounds a bit cliche, right? Find your passion. So what does that mean, right? That means it's like you try to choose a subject that you really enjoy most, right? You really enjoy most, because I believe that if you can choose a subject that you enjoy most, your natural creativity, your energy, your flow, right, will come out very easily. Okay, so that means you will not give up, right, even though you might have a hard time studying certain subject, right, if that is your true passion, right? So to recap, these are my two suggestions. Number one, stop chasing the hot topics or hot subject. Number two, really follow your passion, right? Because by following your passion, your creative flow, right, will come out.
So what I understood is that instead of seeking what's out there, you have to look within, like what is our passion, how we can enhance it. So when we go for our passion, what I feel is that we'll become more curious, and that curiosity leads to creativity, and that leads to a successful career.
Exactly. So this is my suggestion, right, to your audience. Yeah, that means like really like do something what you love to do, right? Study something you love to study.
Okay. Thank you for that insight. And the next thing that I would like to ask is that, apart from this creativity, what sort of skills and what sort of mindset should students should have uh, at this point of time?
Wow, that's a great question. I love that question, and I'm sure your audience is also like looking for that. Is okay, on top of all this like academic performance, on top of all these academic studies, like what else, right? They can better prepare for the future. Well, I can I can give you three suggestions. Right? I put it in the framework of what I call the DUO, right? DUO. So what does that mean, right? The first D is what I call the think different, right? Be different. Right? D stands for different. So I would suggest your audience to think slightly different. Okay, traditionally we go to university, we go to higher education, we want to look for a job, right? Job. We want to look for a job. But right now, because of this future of work, because of this technology changes, the concept of job is changing. Okay, so right now I would like your students, right, to think about something differently, to think about market offering, right, rather than looking for a job, right? So let me recap, right? So I would suggest your students to stop looking for a job, instead look at what kind of things, right, he or she can offer to the market, right? The market offering. So for example, right, let's say you study graphic design, right, in university, right? Traditionally you want to look for a graphic designer job, right? You want to apply for a graphic designer job, right, in a company. But right now, what you should thinking about is you should think differently. You should think about, oh, with my skills and knowledge in graphic design and with my education in graphic design, what kind of market offering or market solution, right, I can contribute to the marketplace, right? By shifting this from a job to market offering, right, your students will be able to open up to a lot of possibility. Right? So maybe this student can actually do up some graphic design and put it on the internet and share with people, and then naturally he or she will be able to attract clients. Right? So that is the first thing. I call it the different, right? DUO. Right? The first thing is different. Think different.
So once again, let me just tell you something. Like as you have previously told, like instead of looking into the society, what they can offer us, we have to look within us. The
Yes.
same way, like what can I get from the society? What job can I seek from the environment? Rather than that, we have to have the mindset of what can I offer to the market?
Exactly. Exactly.
With my skills, what can I offer? Is that what you
Exactly.
mentioned? Men with difference. That is what I believe.
Exactly. Right. So that is the first part. Right. First part of the DUO. The second thing, right, is U. Right? U stand for uncertain, right? Uncertain or embrace uncertainty. Okay. So a lot of time I notice that youngsters, especially students, because of this education environment, you tend to be a perfectionist. As a student, we want to be perfect. We want to have a school project perfect. We want to make sure that it is 100% safe, right, before we proceed to a project. Right? But it doesn't work in this future of work. In the future of work, right, information is chaotic. The world is changing fast. Right? So I would suggest students to embrace uncertainty by embracing this mindset of like a speed trumps perfection, right? Speed trumps perfection. You don't need to wait until you have the 100% perfect product or perfect project, right? Just go ahead, even if you have just like 70% correct, right? So speed is super important, right? So for example, right, if you have a business ideas or you want to test it out, right? Just go ahead and test it, right? Don't wait for the perfect ideas because there's no such thing called perfect ideas or perfect timing, right? So that's the second thing, right? What I call the second thing, which is uncertain, right? So D stand for different, U stand for uncertain, O stand for open, right? O stand for open. Right? So what I would suggest is for the students and youngsters to be open-minded to other subject, right? To open-minded to other subject. So, for example, if you are studying engineering, right, in the university, traditionally you only focus on engineering subject, right? So you want to be good at engineering, you want to be good at like engineering calculation, right? But what you should do is you should broaden up your study. You should maybe take some elective classes in literature or maybe in foreign language, in philosophy, just to be more open-minded, right? Because the world is changing so fast, right? So to recap, right? D stand for different, right? Think different. Don't think about the job. Don't instead think about what is your market offering. U stand for uncertain. Okay, embrace uncertainty by focusing on the speed and not perfection. And O stand for open, right? Being open, right? Take more elective classes, learn something outside of your main course of study. Okay, so this is a DUO framework I can share with your student.
Okay, so that means that we have to be open to everything. We have to embrace the uncertainty, and we have to have what you call, we have to be in giving mode rather
Yes,
than what we can get. We have to be in giving mode and open. So that's the mindset that the students should have to have a good career. That is what I believe.
exactly.
Okay, so let me ask you also that. So you have been coaching many students, many organizations, many individuals. So here we focus on mainly on students. So currently, like what the students are, do you think students are lacking something, some traits or some coaching nowadays in our education or in our society, which we need to give them? Do you have anything like that in mind?
Okay, sure. I think traditionally students spend way too much time right studying, right studying. So basically, you are practicing, you're drilling, you are practicing. What I would suggest is maybe they can spend a bit more time right outside of the curriculum. That means maybe they can go to a museum more often, right, read a book more often, watch a movie more often, right. Try to do something outside of your main course of study. Okay, why? Because by exposing yourself right to different things, different movies, different books, different life experience, new ideas will be spark off, right? So that is something what I would suggest, right? Don't study, don't study too hard, right? Try to have a life, right, by interacting with other people, enjoying like museum books and movies and so on and so forth.
So I believe that having that kind of attitude or having that kind of life will it enhance the creativity, like being out of the book, being open? So is it directly linked to creativity?
Exactly. So because by having more life experience outside studies, by talking to more people, by observing more, by seeing more things, right? Then you will be able to have more ideas, and all these things will be turned to your creative ideas one day, right? So that is my suggestion.
Okay. Okay. So here you have you spoke about the three I's, then the duo. So let me ask you, what is the message that you want to give us, or you can give us as students to be better individuals by ourselves, as well as better individuals for the society? What is the message that you want to give us?
Oh, okay. So my message to the students is, if you have some new ideas, or if you want to try something, right, I would suggest you embrace this like why not mindset, right? Why not? That means if you have a, let's say if you're a student, right, you have a business idea, right? Why not, right? Why not launch it, right? Or if you are studying in a school and you have a new ideas on how you can improve the campus experience, why not, right? Why not you talk to your teacher, right? So basically, my suggestion to the youngster is, okay, embrace this. Why not, right? Why not? Right? So if you have something um, interesting, right, just share with people and then just pursue it, right? Why not? Right? Why not?
Okay, so like I have seen some quotes in the internet, like when difficulties come to you, don't say why me, just say like try me. You
Yes,
have to.
exactly.
Yes.
Like what you mentioned. Exactly. So basically, is to be more proactive and to do that. Yeah.
Okay, so we have to be in why not mode, and we have to get rid of I can't to I can.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
I think with this we can wind up this short session, and let me thank you once again, Mr. Dickson Tang, for giving us the opportunity to interact with you and sharing this insight with us. And I'm sure that this is really going to help a lot of students in India as well as in Kerala. Mm. And
Well, it is a great pleasure and great honor to be here sharing ideas with your audience. So yes, definitely, if there's anything I can help, happy to connect. Right. So once again, thank you so much for this opportunity. Right? The pleasure is mine.
oh, thank you, Dixon, for joining us. Bye
Thank you
bye.
so much, guys. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.